In the last 48 hours, this very information or news has been on the internet space, but unfortunately, it is not trending. I have wondered, why is this news not making headlines on the Nigeria mainstream media? Maybe some persons doesn't want this information to fly, but here we are to do justice to them. Exactly on the 30th of September 2025, the Confederation of the Sahel State, which is also known as Alliance of Sahel States, which is comprised of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, who came together exactly on the 16th of September 2023 to form a security pact that gave birth to the Alliance of Sahel States. That is to say that these three countries continue to share security intelligences together. As we speak, they are on a mission to wipe out insecurity from the Sahel region. And do not also forget that these three countries have pulled out of the ECOWAS bloc. That is to say that they are currently former members of the ECOWAS. And the governing template in these three countries are currently being controlled by the juntas. Do not forget that all these three countries have all passed through, military coup, which led them to where they are today. A typical example is that of the Burkina Faso. After the successful, military coup, General Ibrahim Traore became the current, what you can call the president of Burkina Faso in the material world of today. Now, here are the deals. In the joint addresses that was held by these three countries, exactly on that same 30th of September 2025, precisely in Niamey, in Niger, these three countries revealed that they currently have in their possession lists of high and mighty politicians and individuals who are responsible, who have over time been sponsoring insecurity across the northwest Nigeria, across the Sahel region, and across other parts of Africa. They maintain that they have this very list in their possessions and will make it public as soon as possible, even though in that very joint addresses they went further to mention a few names of persons in Nigeria, which will eventually put you in a shock because of the names of the high-profile individuals that was mentioned in that very joint addresses. They equally made it public that they have arrested gun runners, those who are into gun businesses across northwest Nigeria, across the Sahel region, and other parts of Africa. They have arrested, some of them, and they confessed to the crime and revealed names of persons behind their heinous, illicit businesses across Africa. Well, good people of Nigeria, in that very joint addresses, the three presidents of these very three nations were all present. General Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, General Abdurrahmani Tichani of Niger, and the General Assimi Goita of Mali. They were all present and they gave their own account of the presentation during that very joint addresses. Let's take it bit by bit. So, according to that very publication, which was originally in Hausa language, some of them were, translated by Zagazola Makama, who is a security expert in the Lake Chad across Africa. He is also a security analyst and counter-insurgency expert. So these very addresses were recovered through the help of Grok, through the help of AI, because most of their publications through DW Hausa goes in their native languages. So, according to Colonel Assimi Goita of Mali, brothers and sisters of the Sahel, friends across Africa and the world watching this betrayal unfold, good morning, good evening. Tonight, we don't come with empty words or diplomatic niceties. We come with evidence, with names, with the blood of our people on our hands and the ghost of villages burned to ash. For too long, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have stood shoulder to shoulder against the jihad's Hydra, Boko Haram, ISWAP, the shadows that slither across our borders. We have lost sons and daughters in the thousands. Our economy is gutted. Our children orphaned, and yet, as we bleed, we have uncovered a poison at the heart of it all. Nigeria politicians. Those suited wolves in Abuja feeding the very monsters we fight. He went further to say Let me paint it for you plainly, like a story around the fire. Imagine a man in a grand office sipping tea from a cup bought with our suffering's coin. He wires funds not to schools or clinics, but to arms dealers in the desert. He turns a blind eye to convoys crossing the border, loaded with AKs and RPGs stamped made in Nigeria. Why? Power. Votes from the fearful. Land grabs in the north. We've got the bank records, the satellite tracks, the confession from captured Korea who sang like birds under our lamps. These are not whispers. These are ledgers. Then, according to General Abdurrahmani Tichani of Niger, he wrote in that joint address, Asimi speaks truth, and I will add the grit of it in Niger. We have buried 2,000 soldiers since the coup that freed us from foreign puppeters. Our intelligence shared with no one but our alliance of Sahel states brothers has mapped it out. A senator from Kanu, pockets lined with oil money, funnels cash through Hawala network to ISWAP cells hitting our uranium mines. A governor in Borno, he is the architect of peace deals that arm the very bandit raiding our markets. And don't get me started on the retired generals turned consultants. They train these dogs in camps just south of Lake Chad, then pocket ECOWAS grants for counter-terrorism. We laughed bitterly when Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff General Musa boasted last month about unmasking sponsors. Unmasking? Ha! He is looking in the mirror. Our agencies, Burkina's, Mali's, ours have compiled a dossier thicker than the Bible. Names: Atiku Abubakar's shadowy donors linked, Tinubu's northern allies implicated, even the APC chieftain who cheered our sanctions while their jet dropped pallets over the border. We have held back one of the African Brotherhood, but no more. By week's end, we will release it all. Redacted for the innocent, unsparing for the guilty. Interpose on speed dial. Immediately, the room where these addresses were being read erupted in murmurs. Traore leans in, his eyes like coals. Then Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, continued by saying, "Listen close, Nigeria, our big brother turned Judas. You lecture us on democracy while your elite bankrolled AK-47s, killing our farmers. In Burkina, we have got mass graves with bullets from Lagos factories. We have intercepted calls, send the boys north, and the elections coming. This is not geopolitics, it is treason against Africa. The Sahel rises united. We invite honest Nigerians, soldiers, journalists, youth to join us, defeat, testify. But to the sponsors, your villas in Abuja won't shield you. Your private jets to London, grounded. The people know now. To ECOWAS, to the AU, wake up. This cancer spreads from Nigeria's elite to our sons. We have endured your sanctions, your isolations. Now we expose Mali, Niger, Burkina. We fight for a Sahel free of terror, not fueled by it. And Nigeria, heal thyself or step aside. The desert does not forgive anyone. The desert does not forgive no one." This was how Ibrahim Traore, ended his addresses. The desert does not forgive no one. It's a very deep statement. Well, if you have been following me in this channel, you would have realized my stand on the insecurity in Nigeria. I said no president has ever come to this country to fight insurgency, insecurity as promised, and ended up doing the job that is expected. Since after Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who would have, decisively, do what needed to be done, either gradually or fiercely, to end insecurity. But his administration was politicized by the same APC government. And then they campaigned that Buhari was coming as a messiah to deal with insecurity. At this point, it is safe to say to all Nigerians that without Boko Haram, Buhari may not have won that election of 2015. Without Boko Haram, without the advent of Boko Haram in the scene, it would have been very difficult. And this is why many people, allegedly have linked the, advent, the emergence of Boko Haram to the APC government. Many Nigerians have done that. And if you listen carefully to these very speeches from these very three presidents, you will begin to have a reason to believe some of those things that has been alleged over time. I also remember that some years ago, United Arab Emirates released names of Boko Haram sponsors in Nigeria. I'm pretty sure the questions on the lips of many Nigerians would be, what did the government of the day do with those names? We live in a country where rascality thrives, where corruption, high-handedness, where corruption is deeply rooted in the heart and minds of many Nigerians, not just the politicians. And it has become very difficult. And this is one of the reasons I've always believed that until we have men and women of impeccable character, especially as number one president of this country, people who does not have any single interest in the treasuries of Nigeria, that is the only time we will have transparency in dealing with insecurity. But with the type of calibers of people we have now, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. But at least let the Alliance of Sahel State release this name so that we know them, so that we know who they are. It is important that they release that name. You will see. You see how they mentioned the article shadowy donors, APC chieftains, as well as Tinubu Northern allies. Who are these people? So let the Sahel State release this name so that at least Nigerians will have a transparency on that once more. Even though many Nigerians already have an idea of the dynamics and the sponsors of terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria, but at least that will give us another opportunity to call out the government of the day. Well, at this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person see him. God bless you.